Zohar reading Beresheet, Genesis, verse 110. When the moon was united with the sun, the moon had its own light. But after the moon was separated from the sun, it descended to the world of Bria, and was placed in charge of the hosts of Bria. And was placed in charge of the host of Bria. It belittled itself and diminished its own light. So Klipot upon Klipot were created, one above the other, to conceal the inner part. All this occurred to complete the light of the inner part, because without a shell no fruit can be hard. This is the reason why it is written, "Let there be luminaries," me'orot, without a vav, which means a curse, because of the klipot that emerged due to that diminution of the light of the moon. All this was done for the perfection of the world. Therefore it is written, to give light upon the earth. Beresheet 1:15. As these klipot emerged, and the secret of the shell that precedes the fruit. Verse 111. And Elohim made the two great luminaries, Beresheet 1:16, and made signifies the greatness and a full establishment of everything, as it should be. The phrase two great luminaries indicates that the two great luminaries, which are Zeranpin and his female principal, were united at first. This is the secret of the full name Yod-K Vav-K, Elohim, which, although not openly revealed, can be surmised. So the two great luminaries appear in full name, even though the name Elohim shines only in a concealed way. Verse 112. The word great means that this name Zeranpin and his female principal grew in greatness as equals, so much so that they were called by the name that unites everything together, which is Mem Sadi Pe Sadi. Mem Sadi Pe Sadi, Zeranpin, receives his greatness from the right one, his female principal from the left one. In such a way, they are referred to as two great luminaries. These are the most supernal names that precede the 13 attributes of mercy. The names Mem, Sadi, Pe, Sadi, Mem, Sadi, Pe, Sadi are called great because they became great and ascended. Since they are supernal and divine from the secret of above, they benefit the world, as the world's existence depends on them. Similarly, the two luminaries that appear in the verse, which are Zeranpin and his female principal, both rose as one, in one greatness. Verse 113. The moon was not at ease with the sun because she felt embarrassed before it. The moon said to the sun, "Where do you feed your flock? Why do you make your flock to rest at noon?" Shir Hasharim 1:7. This is as if to say, how can a tiny candle shine in the middle of the day? Why should I be like one who cloaks himself? That is, how can I remain in shame? Then she lowered herself to be head of the lower beings, as it is written, "Go your way forth by the footsteps of the flock." Thus the Holy One, blessed be He, said to her, "Go and diminish yourself." Verse 114. From then on she had no light of her own. She had only the light she received from the sun. At first they were united as one, on the same level. But she later lowered herself from all of its grades. This means that it lost all her grades and emerged from the world of Atzilut. Although she is the head of the lower worlds of Bria, Yetzirah, and Asiya, she is nevertheless considered to have lost all her grades. As in principle, a woman has no significance unless she is together with her husband. In other words, because the female principle is separated from Zerampin, her husband, and has left the world of Atzilut to go to that of Berea, she has brought about the loss of all her grades. Even though she has become head in the world of Bria, she does not consider this to be significant because she is separated from her husband, who is in the world of Atzilut. The phrase, the greater luminary, beresheet 1:16, alludes to Zerampin, who is called by the name Yod-Keh-Vav-Keh. The lesser luminary alludes to the female principle, which is called by the name Elohim. The last of the grades and an end to thought, namely, an end to the world of Atzilut. This is called thought at first. The female principle was inscribed above in Zerampin, and the fourth letter of the holy name Yod-Keh-Vav-Keh. Because the female is lower He in other worlds, when she was on the same level with Zerampin, she was the lower He of the name Yod-Keh-Vav-Keh, but afterward she lowered herself to be called by the name Elohim. Verse 115, in spite of all this, the female principle ascended on all sides and shone in all directions from above. This is before she diminished herself. And when she was the lower He and the assembling of the letters of the holy name, Yod-Keh-Vav-Keh, later, when she belittled herself, the grades expanded out from all sides, which means that she shone from the aspect of being before the lower He of Yod-Keh-Vav-Keh, and also from the aspect of being now the name Elohim. The grades that expanded from the aspect of her being above, from the lower He of Yod-Keh-Vav-Keh, are called the rule of the day. The grades that expanded from the aspect of being below, from the name Elohim, are called the rule of the day, or the night. Verse 116. The words, the stars, beresheet 1:16, alludes to countless hosts and groups of angels who are all supernal in that firmament of heaven. That is Yesod of Zerampin, and is called life of the worlds. As it is written, and Elohim set them in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth. Verse 117. The kingdom of the house of David was established on this day, the fourth day, which is the fourth leg that supports the throne. It happened on the fourth day because the letters were completed and fixed in their place properly. In spite of all this, Malchut, the kingdom, was not fixed properly in its place before the sixth day, because only then was the image of man completed and properly established on the sixth day. The upper throne and the lower throne were established, and all the worlds settled in their places. All the letters were set in their spheres after untying and releasing the complicated knot that existed among the letters. Verse 118. The fourth day, which is the kingdom of David, was rejected by the builders, as it is written, the stone which the builders rejected, Tehillim 1:18-22. And also, my mother's children were angry with me, Shir HaSharim 1:6. For this light, referring to Malchut, lowered itself and diminished its own radiance, while the Klipot were established in their places. This gave place to the emerging of the Klipot and their rule. Thus she seemed loathsome in the eyes of the righteous that built it. Only later, when she was completed and ready for union with Zerampin, was it said she has become the headstone of the corner. Tehillim 1:18-22. All those lights that shone during the 6,000-year period were suspended in the firmament of heaven to establish with them the throne of David, namely the kingdom, Malchut of David. Verse 119. These lights of the kingdom of David created the form below in order to prepare the form of all those that pertain to the inner form of the face of man. Because every inner form is so called, namely the face of man. From this, you should realize that every shape included in the expansion of the letter final noon is called man, even though they do not actually have the face of a man. Hence, it is written, "But you are men." Ezekiel 34:31. You are called men, but not the rest of the idolatrous nations. Verse 120. Every spirit is called man, which means that only the aspect of the light of the spirit that is enclosed within the body is called man. So the body of the spirit of the holy side is only a garment. In other words, the spirit is the actual essence of man, and the body is only its covering. But on the other side, the opposite applies. This is why it is written, "You have clothed me with the skin and flesh, and knit me together with the bone and sinew." Job 10:11. The flesh of man is only a garment, covering the essence of man, which is the spirit. Wherever it is written, the flesh of man, it hints that the essence of man is inside. The flesh is only a vestment for men, a body for him, but the essence of man is the aspect of his spirit. Verse 121. For the lower aspects were melted within the melting of this spirit of the face of man, and other forms were fashioned and clothed and in a different kind of garment, not by that of man, but of kosher animals. These include ox, sheep, goats, kids of the goats, rams, deer, fallow deer, and so on. They would have preferred to be included in the vestment of the face of a man, but were not. They became vestments for others, namely garments for the face of an ox, the face of an eagle, and the face of a lion. The inner spirit of the ox, sheep, and goat is called by the same name as the body of that spirit. Because the body is a vestment for that name, but does not own it. The body is the flesh of the ox, and the ox is the inner spirit of that body. Namely, its flesh is its garment. So it is with all animals. Their bodies are named after the inner spirit that is enclosed within them. Verse 122. It is similar with the other side, which is not holy. The spirit that spreads within the idolatrous nation issues from the side that is not holy, and is not the aspect of man. Therefore it is not called by this name, as has been written, "But you are men." The name of this spirit is defiled. It is not called man, and has no share in him, because it extends from the wicked man without elevation, who does not want to ascend to the face of man above. So his body, the vestment of his spirit, is impure, and his flesh is defiled. The impure part, which is the spirit, is on the inside, and the flesh is his vestment. As long as the spirit dwells within that body, it is considered defiled. As the spirit leaves that vestment, namely the body, neither the body nor the vestment is called impure any longer, as the impure one, that is, the spirit, has departed from it.